Okay, boys, pause your Pokemon or Fort Worth, whatever you are playing, and come over here and help me with the project.
It's Fortnite!
Well, whatever. Anyway, I was thinking about becoming an influencer on the line.
Do you mean online on YouTube?
Exactly, like on YouTube. I've even got a song wrote. You tell me what you think. Welcome to Granny's Storytime and Tea, where the stories are good and the cookies are free.
But Granny, you don't have any cookies.
Oh, well, it doesn't matter. They don't have cookies. It's just a hook.
What do you want to do on YouTube?
Well, I thought I'd tell my life stories, like the time I beat up a raptor with a wooden spoon until it was tamed and I named it Pickles, or about the time that I caught a fish that was so big I could live on it for days.
Granny, you need to stop playing games before bed.
Yeah, probably, but what could we call the channel?
I know.
Storytime with Granny!
Alright, let's sit down and listen to my story for today.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and smash that like button.
Have you ever had that sense of deja vu? Or maybe you feel like somebody's watching you, but you don't see anybody around? I don't know. I've sometimes had those feelings, and it kind of makes you wonder, are we living in a simulation? What I mean by that is, how do we know that we're not just a video game that somebody else is playing or controlling? Or maybe we're like the Truman Show. It was a movie about a guy that was a TV, only he didn't know he was on a TV. All the cameras were hidden. He could never leave the town. There was always a reason. Maybe the bridge was out, or maybe there was a big accident and it was blocking traffic or whatever, but he could never leave the town. He was just kind of kept there. And it was technically a TV show that everybody else was watching, but he didn't know it. Well, that's what we're going to do our story about today. Are we in a simulation? The reality is, we have a 50-50% chance that we're living in a simulation. 50% odds that this is a simulation and not true real life. That's pretty high odds when you think about it. Now, I know, there's two different types of people. Actually, there's more than that, but we're going to narrow it to the two. For right now, there's Christians. They don't believe it's a simulation, obviously. It's real life. They believe that God created the earth. We're actually here. The things that we experience are either coincidences, or maybe it's a sign from God, or maybe we're just misinterpreting something wrong. Or maybe, because we are imperfect humans, we're just simply remembering things wrong. Then there's the type of people who believe that we're in a simulation. Those people believe that we're being controlled by someone or something, whether it's AI, the government, reptilian people, or God, or something else. They believe that there's something controlling our reality, and our reality is not true reality. It's just kind of like a video game or a computer program that's being controlled. But we're going to do this in parts. So let's start with part number 1 as to why we might be in a simulation. Number 1, the Mandela effect. The Mandela effect is where people remember something differently than what is claimed to be reality. The term Mandela effect came about because people remember Nelson Mandela dying in prison, and they even claim to remember watching the funeral on live TV and Nelson Mandela's wife walking next to the casket. They claimed on this news that it was talking about how that was the first time Nelson Mandela's wife had been that close to him since he had went to prison. But Nelson Mandela never died in prison. In fact, he was released from prison and went on to become, I believe, the president of South Africa. Excuse me. There's other examples of this happening, like the Berenstain Bears versus the Berenstein Bears. I grew up remembering them as Berenstein Bears. But if you look it up, it's supposed to have always been the Berenstain Bears, which doesn't even roll off the tongue correctly to me. It was Berenstein Bears. I remember reading the stories to my kids. I never heard of it be called the Berenstain Bears until I heard of these Mandela effects and got wrapped up in them. There's several other examples of Mandela effects. But my husband says that the reason why these Mandela effects, and he is a skeptic, but his example was genius. I truly mean that. His idea was that the reason why we remember things wrong is because there's been so many memes or they've done costumes to look like something, or there's been movies that have quoted things and they've misquoted it, and we remember it from those memes or media or whatever. So we're not remembering the facts, we're actually remembering the incorrect inconsistencies from the social media or whatever. So a good example is, if you were to go to a store right now and look for an Uncle Sam Halloween costume, you're going to find an Uncle Sam hat in there that's going to have the stripes that are red and white vertical lines with a blue band that goes around the base of it that's got the stars on it, and it's like a top hat. But the reality is, Uncle Sam never had the red and white stripes. But I always remember him as having it. But I guess when I was a kid, there was a lot of little cartoons that would be in the funny papers, and it would have like Uncle Sam wants to be you, and they would, whatever. It would be something about that, and it would show the image incorrectly. So, I mean, I guess I could get that. Like, I've seen Full House had a good episode where they got a letter from Ed McMahon, and the one girl says, "Oh, it's from Star Search," and the other one says, "No, it's from Publishers Clearinghouse." Well, Ed McMahon never did Publishers Clearinghouse, but I remembered him doing that. But it could be because I saw that episode, or Ed McMahon did do a kind of Publishers Clearinghouse type thing. It just wasn't Publishers Clearinghouse. It was like American Family something or other. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. But it was similar enough to Publishers Clearinghouse that you could have got the two confused. So his reasoning by us having these Mandela effects probably is the truth. The fact that we're misremembering it from things that we've seen or heard or whatever, other people misquoting things or saying things different, that could be a possibility. Okay, number 2, ghosts and shadow people. You could even include things like Bigfoot or aliens, any kind of cryptid, anything that we think is paranormal or out of the normal. Because, like my grandson said, I mean, it's kind of crazy. People see cryptids, or they see ghosts, or they see whatever. Well, how do we know that the ghosts or shadow people aren't our loved ones who have, in this reality, passed on, and maybe they didn't really die per se. They just woke up, like in the Matrix. And so maybe they're trying to hack into the system and tell us, hey, don't be afraid. It's just a fake reality. You're in a game, or you're in a, simulated world. It's not true. So maybe that's what it is when it comes to ghosts or shadow people. I mean, maybe it's that. Maybe some of these evil entities are the devil toying with us, messing with us. They're just jumping into our simulated world and, I don't know, trying to scare us. Because that's what the devil does, doesn't he? I mean, he tries to scare us. He tries to deceive us. That's what he does. I don't know. Maybe whoever's controlling this reality, whether it's an alien or the government or whatever, they're putting in these cryptids or whatever to have a good time. So in other words, we could be the butt of somebody's joke. Whether that's aliens or the government or whoever's controlling this simulation, we could be the butt of their joke. They could be putting in a Bigfoot because they're like, oh, check it out. There's little campers out in the woods, so let's throw in a Bigfoot and see if they get scared, see what happens. Or, oh crap, look at those people looking at the sky. Let's throw in the most ridiculous looking saucer and they'll think aliens are coming. I mean, I don't know. It's a possibility. It could just be something as simple as that. They're making fun of us and they throw it in there. I don't know. You tell me what you think. Alright, number 3. There's the theory that in 2012 that the world ended when the Mayan calendar was supposed to have ended. And it didn't end, like the planet didn't blow up, but it was damaged so bad that it became inhabitable. And the government covered it up by putting everybody in this bunker where we're all strapped to machines that keep us fed and alive and stuff. Kind of like The Matrix, the movie The Matrix. Kind of like that. So we're all strapped in and the government is feeding us information, making us think that we went on with life until they can get it figured out on how to make the planet livable again. I don't know. That's a good theory. I mean, that's a possibility. It could be like The Matrix. And so when our loved ones die, that would make sense. They're just waking up. I don't know. Maybe death is only a transition to the next reality. So maybe this reality is a giant computer program and we're going to wake up in another one and another one and another one. Who knows? I don't know. The 2012 thing kind of seems a little far-fetched to me. But I could see our government doing something like that. Doing the whole Men in Black, you forget everything, put the little X-ray thing and it pops up and you forget all the stuff. So we forgot that the world kind of ended and that they stuffed this in the side of a mountain somewhere in a bunker that they built under 50,000 miles of steel and concrete or whatever. Who knows? I mean, I'm being silly now, but I mean, it's a possibility. You just don't know. We have no way to really prove it. I mean, how would you prove it except for to wake up? And if you woke up and you're not in a program anymore, so it's not like you could look over to the person that you're with and be like, hey, we're in a simulation. I have proof. Because you wouldn't be in it anymore. I don't know. Anyway, it's an interesting topic. I absolutely love looking into the things that people say about us being in a simulation. And I kind of get some of the things that people say, and it does make you go, that could be it. That could be the way it is. It would explain a whole lot. I mean, you ever found something that you've been looking for forever, and it happens to be in a place that you know it was not there because you checked? A good example is, I have this blue Pepsi glass, and it used to be my favorite glass out of all my dishes. It's my favorite one. I always wanted to drink my tea or whatever I was drinking out of that glass. That's the only one I wanted. But I'm also a coffee drinker. So I drink a lot of coffee, and I spent a couple days drinking pretty much nothing but coffee and canned drinks like Cokes. And one day I decided I wanted a glass of tea and I went looking for my Pepsi glass and I couldn't find it. My husband and I literally took all the dishes out of the cabinet. It wasn't in there. And I thought one of my kids had come over to visit because they're adults. And they had come over to visit, got him a glass of tea, and then carted my glass off. That wouldn't be unheard of. My kids take my dishes all the time. They'll tell you that they didn't take it, but I can go to their houses and find it in their cabinet. I've done it. But anyway, one day I went in there looking for something else. I wasn't even looking for the cup. And right there on the shelf in front of my face was my Pepsi glass that I know wasn't there. My kids hadn't been over in the time that I went looking for it to the time that I found it. They had not been to my house. And I asked my husband, where did you find this? And he said, I didn't. I said, well, it's in the cabinet. It wasn't in the cabinet. You know we took everything out. My husband doesn't believe in any of this crap about ghosts or, things appearing and disappearing, and he don't believe in any of that. But that day, he was like, okay, that is kind of creepy. And he agreed with me. The reality is, I I don't know how it got there. I don't know where it went. I don't understand any of that. But us being in a simulation, that does kind of make sense to me. The reality is, I mean, you know, there's glitches in our games all the time. Sometimes our game crashes. We have to hurry up and reboot it. When we reboot it, we actually have to repeat some of the stuff because we lost it when the game crashed. Well, maybe that's what's happening in our lives if we're in a simulation. Maybe there was a giant crash to the server or the software. Excuse me. And we had to repeat it. That would give you the sense of deja vu. That would explain things not being there but then suddenly there. I mean, it would explain so many things. And it's kind of cool to think that maybe somewhere we're somebody's video game. Maybe we're like The Sims and somebody's sitting there making us go to the bathroom, eat food. You ever just sit there and suddenly you have an urge to do something or want to do something and you have no idea where the urge came from? I don't know. Leave me in the comments any thoughts that you have on this. If you have any kind of suggestions for future stories, that would be great. Let me know in the comments, though, do you believe that we're in a simulation? If so, why? If not, why? Tell me what your thoughts are. If you just want to drop in and say hi, do that too. I'm always happy to have people drop in and just say hi. But before you go, please make sure to smash that like button. Share this video. If you haven't done it already, hit subscribe. I'm trying to get as many subscribers as I can. Right now we only have 6. We're a brand new channel. So I beg you, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure to tell your friends about it. Come to the channel, have them subscribe. Hit that notification bell. That way, any future episodes that get aired, you'll be notified when they happen. I'm going to try and upload at least once a week. Hopefully I'm going to upload more than that. But until next time, keep gaming, people. We'll catch you on the flip side.